Hello friends, yesterday we have seen ionic equilibria. First upon we have seen definition of ionic equilibrium and examples of ionic equilibrium. Then substances are divided into electrolytes, and again electrolytes are divided into strong electrolytes and weak electrolytes. We have seen definitions and examples of strong electrolytes as well as weak electrolytes. After that we have seen the most important part, that is applicable part of ionic equilibria is that degree of dissociation. In this we have seen three formulas: degree of dissociation, formula for percent dissociation, and formula for equilibrium concentration of cations or anions. And after that we have seen three theories of acids and bases. Okay, now out of which we have seen Arrhenius theory of acids and bases, second one Bronsted-Lowry theory of acids and bases, and third one just we have seen definitions of acids and bases according to Levy's theory of acids and bases. Okay, and also we have seen examples of acids and bases as per the Arrhenius theory as well as Bronsted-Lowry theory. Okay, now we are going to see definitions of acids and bases according to Levy's theory. Okay, now what are the definitions of Levy's theory of acids and bases? Okay, now what we have seen, the species or the substances which accepts a pair of electron is called as Levy's acids. Okay, now in the opposite manner, any species or the substances that donates electron pair are called as Levy's base. That means the compounds which having a incomplete octet in their outermost shell are act as Levy's acids, and the substances which having a expanded octet in their outermost shell are called as Levy's bases. Okay, that means what is mean by incomplete octet and what is mean by expanded octet. Okay, now incomplete octet means the compounds containing less than 8 electrons, compounds containing less than 8 electrons. Okay, while the what is mean by expanded octets, the compound containing more than 8 electrons, compounds containing greater than compound containing greater than 8 electrons, compounds containing greater than 8 electrons, such compounds are called as Levy's bases. Okay, now simple example we can take as a, now which example we can see, AlCl3, AlCl3, aluminium trichloride. Okay, now it contains 6 electrons, now 3 electrons from aluminium and 3 electrons from chlorine. Okay, and it needs 2 electrons to complete its octet. Okay, in the same way we can see here PSF6, SF6, sulfur hexafluoride. Okay, now sulfur 6 electrons, fluorine 6 electrons, that means it contains 12 electrons in their outermost shell. Okay, therefore AlCl3 is example of Levy's acids and SF6 is example of Levy's bases. Okay, in the same way we can see it by reaction manner. See, now in this reaction H plus, that means the proton, okay, and ammonia NH3. Now hydrogen having a positive charge and nitrogen of ammonia having a lone pair of electron. Okay, so ammonia having a tendency or nitrogen having a tendency to donate lone pair of electrons to H plus ions and forms a ammonium ion, that means NH4 plus ammonium ion, that means NH4 plus ion. Now see here, the total electrons or the both electrons are given by nitrogen to hydrogen. Therefore the arrow in between the ammonia and hydrogen is from nitrogen to hydrogen. That means arrowhead is towards the hydrogen, that is electrons are given to hydrogen ion, or we can say it as a what, proton. Okay, now another example we can see for the Lewis acids and Lewis base. Okay, now see BF3 boron trifluoride and ammonia NH3. Okay, now here boron trifluoride contains 6 electrons while the ammonia having a lone pair of electron, and this lone pair of electron on nitrogen is available to give it to boron trifluoride. Okay, and it forms a complex like a BF3 and NH3. Now here both the compounds are completed their octet, ammonia as well as boron trifluoride, and in the same way the arrow is denoted arrowhead towards the boron trifluoride because of both electrons are given from nitrogen to boron trifluoride. Okay, now see these like examples are the examples of Lewis acids and bases. Okay, not only boron trifluoride, we can also use aluminium trichloride, aluminium tribromide, or we can simply say it as aluminium chloride, aluminium bromide, like this. Okay, now see one example is there. Now the important is that there we have to compare the theories of acids and bases, all three theories. Question will be there for the examination. Define acids according to Lewis theory. Define acids according to Arrhenius theory. Define acids according to Lowry-Bronsted theory, or define acids and base according to Bronsted-Lowry theory. Define acids and base according to Lewis theory. Like this there will be a question for a 1 or 2 marks. Okay, now see in the same way we have to apply the concept for the question. Okay, now what question you have given here? All Bronsted bases are also Lewis acids. Okay, but all Bronsted acids are not Lewis acids. That means the definition of bases as per the Bronsted as well as Lewis are the same. But according to Bronsted-Lowry theory and according to Lewis theory, acids are different one. Okay, now see what are the bases according to Bronsted theory. The base is a substance that accepts a H plus ion. The substances which are accepting H plus ions from the another substances or another species are called as bases according to Bronsted theory. In the same way, what is the definition of Lewis bases? Now the Lewis bases are giving pair of electrons. Now it might be to H plus ions or it might be to another species. So as they are accepting H plus ions also, therefore the definition for the Bronsted bases and the Lewis bases is same one. But now the definition for Bronsted acids and Lewis acids is not the same. Okay, now see according to Bronsted-Lowry theory, the compounds or the acid is a substance which donates H plus ion to another substance, or the acid is a substance which gives proton to another substance are called as acids according to Bronsted theory. But according to Lewis theory, the substances which accepts or the species which accepts lone pair of electron are called as Lewis acids, and both the theories are different one because of always only H plus ions is not going to accept the lone pair of electron. There will be a different compounds to accept the pair of electron. Therefore, the Bronsted acids are not Lewis acids, but the Bronsted bases are always Lewis bases. Okay. Now see, the next point is that amphoteric nature of water. Before this we have seen term amphoteric nature. Amphoteric nature of water we have seen in S block elements. Okay. Further we have seen amphoteric nature of metal oxides, whether the oxide of metals are acidic in nature or basic in nature. In that we have seen aluminium oxide and zinc oxide are amphoteric in nature. Now what is meant by amphoteric in nature? We have seen definition of amphoteric nature of metal oxides is that the metal oxides which reacts with acids as well as base. Such behavior of metal oxides is called as amphoteric nature. In the same way, we are going to apply the concept of amphoteric nature for water. Now, amphoteric nature of water. The water has ability to react with acid as well as base, and such behavior is known as amphoteric nature of water. In other way, we can define it by the water has ability to act as an acid as well as base, and such behavior is known as amphoteric nature. Okay, now we are all known very well about that water contains. Now water contains both H plus and OH minus ion. H plus plus OH minus ion. Okay, now see what we have seen. The compounds containing H plus ions are called as acids. The compounds containing OH minus ions are called as bases. Okay, now same, when water molecule is reacts with base, then it acts as a acid, while when the water molecule is reacts with acid, it acts as a base. Okay, now see, for example, we have taken here water reacts with ammonia, NH3. Now ammonia, nitrogen having a pair of electron, and this lone pair of electron they can use to accept the H plus ion, and it forms the ammonium ion, that means the NH4 plus ion along with hydroxide ion. Okay, now see, therefore as the ammonia is basic in nature, in such cases water is act as acid. In such cases water is act as a acid, and while when the water is reacts with acids, that means the HCl, H2SO4, HNO3 and other acids, okay, it act as a base, and in that time OH minus. Okay, now this we can also say it as what, the hydrogen is accepted by the water molecule. Now see, water in which oxygen having a lone pair of electron, and this lone pair of electron is used to abstract hydrogen from acid, and it forms hydronium ion. Hydronium ion means H3O plus ion. It forms the H3O plus ion along with Cl minus ion. Okay, now we can say that the water act as an acid towards the base like ammonia, potassium hydroxide, sodium hydroxide, in such way. Okay, and it act as a base towards the acid like HCl, H2SO4, HNO3, etc. Okay, now see, we are going to see next concept, ionization of acids and bases. Okay, now we have to see a minute difference or fine difference between ionization and dissociation. Before that we have to remind strong acids and weak acids, as well as strong bases and weak bases. Now, which are the strong acids? The acids dissociates almost completely in water are called as strong acids, and we have seen the examples of strong acids are HCl, H2SO4 and HNO3. These are the strong acids, but HBr and HI also dissociates completely in water. Therefore, these are also a strong electrolytes, and as it contains the H plus ions, therefore these are included in strong acids. We can see the ionization as it dissociates completely. HCl gives H plus and Cl minus ion. Therefore, it is denoted by the arrow in forward direction, single arrow, and which is in forward direction. That means it undergoes a complete dissociation, and complete dissociation is nothing but the ionization. We can apply the same concept for the strong bases. We have seen the bases like a KOH and NaOH, potassium hydroxide and sodium hydroxide. Now see, for sodium hydroxide on dissociation it gives Na plus and OH minus ion, and as it dissociates completely it is denoted by a single arrow which is in forward direction. Therefore, the strong acids and strong bases shows the ionization reaction. Okay. Now in the same way for the weak electrolytes, that is weak acids and weak bases. Now we can see more examples of weak acids. Now acetic acid, formic acid, HF, hydrogen fluoride and hydrogen sulfide are the examples of weak acids, and which are dissociates incompletely or partially in water to gives cations and anions. Therefore, these are the weak electrolytes, and therefore it is denoted by a double-headed arrow. That means the equilibrium. It shows the equilibrium between the compound and their ions. Okay, in the same way we can apply the concept for the weak bases. Now examples of weak bases are ammonium hydroxide, NH4OH, ferric hydroxide, FeOH thrice, and cupric hydroxide, CuOH twice. Okay, now all these salts in water molecule forms OH minus ions as well as metal ions or ammonium ion. For example, if we consider the example of NH4 plus, if we consider the example of NHOH, ammonium hydroxide, in water it undergoes dissociation. It forms ammonium ion, NH4 plus ion, in aqueous plus OH minus ion in aqueous. Okay, now in the same way we can apply the concept for the ferric hydroxide, FeOH thrice, FeOH thrice. Okay, now FeOH thrice on dissociation it produces Fe3 plus, Fe3 plus 3OH minus ions in aqueous or in water. Okay, don't forget to write down the aqueous AQ in square bracket at the subscript of every ion as well as compound whenever we are going to write the equilibrium reaction or ionic equilibrium. Okay, in the same way we can apply this for the cupric hydroxide. Now cupric hydroxide, CuOH twice, on dissociation it produces Cu2 plus 2OH minus. Okay, now in the all compounds produces the OH minus ions in water molecules, and therefore these are the bases, and as it dissociate incompletely and partially, these are the weak bases. Okay, so which fine difference we have to remember: if the substances are dissociate completely, they can be denoted by a single headed arrow in forward direction, that means the ionization reaction, and the double headed, for weak electrolytes, the double headed arrow, that means the incomplete or partial dissociation of electrolytes in water molecule. Okay, now we are going to see the new point is that dissociation constant of weak acids and weak bases. Now we are going to see dissociation constant of weak acids and weak bases. Okay, now before this we have to remember the equilibrium constant of weak acid is called as acid dissociation constant, and in the same way the equilibrium constant of weak base is called as base dissociation constant. Okay, now one more thing we have to remember: the Ha represents weak acid and BOH represents weak base. Now we are going to see the equilibrium constant for both weak acid and weak base. Okay, now see the dissociation constant of weak acid and weak base. The dissociation of weak acid Ha gives H plus ion in aqueous and A minus ion in aqueous. Okay, and the equilibrium constant of weak acid is called as acid dissociation constant. As we have seen the equilibrium constant in chemical equilibrium, same concept or same formula we have to apply here for the acid dissociation constant as well as base dissociation constant. Okay, and see one more thing we have to remember: the acid dissociation constant is denoted by Ka and base dissociation constant is denoted by Kb. Okay, now see the next one, the equation. Acid dissociation constant Ka is equal to concentration of H plus ion into concentration of A minus ion divided by concentration of Ha. That means the concentration of cation into concentration of anion divided by concentration of salt. Now see same concept for the base dissociation constant. Now we have taken here the reaction for the base dissociation constant is BOH. Weak base is denoted by BOH, and on equilibrium it produces B plus and OH minus ions in aqueous solution. Now see we can write here formula for base dissociation constant. Kb is equal to concentration of B plus in aqueous into concentration of OH minus in aqueous divided by concentration of BOH. Okay, now same way you can see here the equilibrium constant of base, equilibrium constant of base is called base dissociation constant, and this base dissociation constant Kb is equal to concentration of B plus into concentration of OH minus divided by concentration of BOH. Okay, so we have to remember two formulas here: base dissociation constant as well as acid dissociation constant. Ka is equal to concentration of H plus in aqueous into concentration of A minus into aqueous divided by concentration of Ha, and these concepts are important for the next. Okay, now see, the dissociation constant of weak acid or a weak base is defined as equilibrium constant for dissociation equilibrium of acid or weak base respectively. Okay, or simply we can say equilibrium constant of weak acid is called as acid dissociation constant, and equilibrium constant of weak base is called as base dissociation constant. Okay, now see, in next video we are going to see the new concept which is Ostwald dilution law. Okay, so till that, if you found the video is useful, then like and subscribe. Okay, thank you.